Hello, family. This is your friend Kenesha, and welcome to another episode of. Remember that we have transitioned to Momentum Mondays. That's right. This is an opportunity where we are going to start our week off strong so we can end the week strong. So, guys, remember we're talking about this notion of transformation. And when we look at the word transformation, we've got that little base word called transform. And the definition of transform means to make a thorough or dramatic change in character, form, or appearance. And as we're talking about transformation, transform, we always start not with me, with you. I start with me and you start with you. Why? Because we want to have an influence on others, but we first have to have an impact on ourselves. Remember that we are in our second week of our brand new series, and remember the title is All I Do Is Win. Say that with me. Ready, go. All I do is win. Now, I may have lost some of you if you don't remember what I said last week. Kenesha, I played a board game with you and I beat you. All I do is win. Papa John, Dr. John C. Maxwell has a book called Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. So even in seemingly defeat or losses, I still win because there's something that I learn every time I don't win. So that's our thought. So today, or last week, we talked about hunt down your dream. That was our specific subtitle. And today we'll talk about overcome internal self-defeat. You see, it's not the defeat of our friends or the defeat that they talk to us about. It's really what's happening. Like my people in my life, they say, what's happening between your two ears? We want to learn how to go against that. So here's what self-talk means. It says this. Self-talk is your internal dialogue. It's influenced by your subconscious mind, and it reveals your thoughts, beliefs, questions, and ideas. Self-talk can be both positive and negative. So, if you ever have heard someone say, stop talking to yourself, or you should not talk to yourself. Here's the bottom line. You do talk to yourself, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just a part of our human nature. Now, what we can change is what type of self-talk are we doing? We know that there are two forms. There's the positive, and then there's the negative. The question is, which form of self-talk are you doing? So there's several quotes. I've got 3 quotes I want to read to you, and they were all so good I cannot choose one, so I'll read all 3 of them. This first one is from Dennis Waitley, and check this out. It says, relentless, repetitive self-talk is what changes our self-image. So what that's saying is, whether good or bad, what we constantly say to ourselves, that's what we believe. Check this out. Sometimes what we're saying to ourselves, it's not even true. But whatever we repeat, this is proven by science with our brain, our neuroplasticity. When we're constantly saying the same things over and over and meditating on the same self-talk, we begin to believe that. And our brain has an experience as if what we're saying actually is the truth. Here's the second one. This one's by Ralph Sherrill. Ralph says this. The inner speech, your thoughts, can cause you to be rich or poor, loved or unloved, happy or unhappy, attractive or unattractive, powerful or weak. Because we become what we say to ourselves, right? Yes, what other people say about us affects us, but really, what do you say about you to you? Sit on that for a second. That's really what we're going to believe. And then our last one is by Albert Ellis, the last quote. It says, if human emotions largely result from thinking, then one may appreciably control one's feelings by controlling one's thoughts. You mean to tell me that I cannot be so emotional if I control my thoughts? Selah, pause. Just think about that. It says, or by changing the internalized sentences or self-talk with which one largely created the feeling in the first place. So I have direct control over my emotions, how I feel based upon what I'm saying to myself or what I'm thinking about between my two ears. So I think about two professional athletes, which we love. One is deceased really too early, R.I.P. Mamba, Kobe Bryant. But Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, they shared the same mindfulness coach. Not just the Phil Jackson, but the same mindfulness. And this mindfulness coach taught them, check this out, how to meditate, how to think, how to speak positive to them, to their own selves, even if they lost the game. And his name was George Mumford. So throughout their careers, Kobe and Michael Jordan saw this particular doctor, and he was excellent. Our mindfulness meditation coach. And then check this out. It also says that Shaquille O'Neal saw him as well. And if we look at their histories, I'm pretty sure they all did well in the NBA. It says that Mumford was able to get over a strong addiction when he learned this principle and stayed clean for over 31 years. So I think that's something to consider. What is that mindfulness all about? It's guarding the self-talk. What are you saying to yourself? So then I want to go down to a new book that we're going to be looking at today. It's called Negative Self-Talk and How to Change It. And that's by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. And this is a great book. So we're going to go right to page 4. And it jumps right in talking about this negative self-talk. And it says this: negative self-talk is everywhere. You know it and I know it, right? It's everywhere. It says we are in the middle of an epidemic. Not of COVID-19, though we are, but we are in the middle of an epidemic of negative self-talk. And it's getting, unfortunately, not better, it's getting worse. Negative self-talk is so widespread. It says that, the author says that I have even given it a name, negative self-talk disorder. Now, I don't want that disorder. I want to have positive self-talk disorder, right? And I don't want it to be a disorder. I want it to be order. But this is how pervasive this negative self-talk is, and this is what we have to watch for. It says negative self-talk is anything you think or say that looks at something from a perspective of what won't work instead of what can work. So when we're thinking of overcoming internal self-defeat, what is it that right now in your mind, just think about it, in the last 24 hours that maybe you're considering doing, but you've already figured out the plan of why it will not work? That's negative self-talk. You're worth better than that. So we want to make sure that we capture that. Here's another little nugget. It says, anything you think or say that overfocuses on your fears instead of on your strengths, that's considered negative self-talk. You know, if I go on the plane, the plane's going to go down. I mean, there are planes that have gone down, but not very many. So your plane is most likely statistically not going to go down. But oftentimes, we just roll over these negative thoughts in our mind. We want to watch for that. Here's another one. It says, anything you think or say about yourself that repeatedly focuses on faults or flaws instead of your positive qualities. We know you picked up a little bit of weight over COVID. We know you don't like it, but don't just think about that. What is positive? Now, you should lose the weight, right? So you can be healthy. But what are some other positive things that you can continue to think on in your life? Because we want to guard our self-talk. It says anything you think or say that causes you to see your world as filled with problems instead of opportunities and positive choices. Those things are negative self-talk. Life is not over. It's not the end. We are going to make it. You are going to make it. So guard what you're thinking in your mind. So, my final thought for you today is make a decision to overcome the self defeating thoughts that try to plague your mind. I want you to be successful. Remember, all I do, all you do, all we do is win. This is your friend Kenisha. I love you. Have a wonderful and blessed day.